And welcome back to the Phil and Steve Show. We're here on Module 1, Unit 1, Lesson 1, called a vocabulary lesson with the iTDi TESOL Certificate. We're looking at Activity 4, which is called What Principles Do You Think Should Guide the Selection of Words to Teach? Decide which is the most important and which is the least important. Okay, choose your answers, then click to see what other teachers thought.
So we touched on this a little bit in our conversation in the last activity. So let's go and look at some things more specifically.
So the most important principle, you want to look through that list: syllabus, frequency, ease, usefulness, student choice.
I'm going with usefulness.
And that was my third choice.
All right, what were your top two?
Well, based on our last suggestion, we both kind of talked about what we did in class, which was more focused on student choice. And then I had also in a previous one talked about frequency. So I'm really feel like I'm being drawn in three different ways on this one.
Yeah, I think they're my top three.
Okay.
I chose usefulness over student choice just simply because sometimes student choice, they don't always know what is useful or what is going to be value to them.
Yeah, that's valid. Thing is, you have the clicker, so you get to make these decisions. Cool. Usefulness. Great.
I'll let you control my hand if you like.
No, I don't want anywhere near your hand. Okay. The least important principle is maybe ease, syllabus. Which one?
I'm going to go back to what you're saying a couple of activities ago about level and context.
Yeah.
So, for example, in some contexts I teach, then the syllabus is driven by the student. So the least important principle in some ways is the syllabus because it's driven by their choice. And it wouldn't be the syllabus of a course book because they're not taking an exam that's going to test them on the vocabulary. But if they're in my junior high school or high school students and they're going to be tested on the vocabulary in the syllabus, then that may be the most important for them in that context.
But I'm going to argue against course books. Forgive me to all my friends who write course books, but I just find more and more the idea that so many publishers are now producing course books that can be used internationally, that hit and miss factor in terms of what my students would be genuinely interested in knowing, even though they may be tested on it, says least important would be the syllabus.
So we agreed on that one.
Yeah, in a painful roundabout kind of way.
And
there we go.
Most people are in the same boat.
Yeah.
For
interesting. Some people, one person there voted the ease, eh? And I kind of get that a little bit, that we're not just out to learn the easiest vocabulary that's out there.
Right. So back to level and context, I think.
I guess, yeah. And I guess that something that this makes me think about is that learning vocabulary shouldn't be just a random kind of activity. That the students should have some kind of vested goal or reason for studying vocabulary. And maybe the weakest argument is the one that, it's going to be on the test.
Right.
We've seen how people can regurgitate vocabulary, but never actually learn it at all, in fact.
Or else they can answer it for a test after 1 week and 2 weeks later it's gone. So.
Yeah. So I guess we want the students to try to be more engaged in their vocabulary learning.
Yeah, and one of the most common questions that I've had as a teacher, and I'm sure it's similar for you, is that students coming up and say, how do I learn more words, or how do I become better at learning vocabulary? And whether they're school students or whether they've been middle-aged businessmen and so on, then still that same kind of challenge.
Where do you go? What's your first answer on? I just had 3 first answers crash into each other.
Okay. Yeah, my first answer goes back to teaching them how to select words that are useful, meaningful, and they're going to get basically a high payload for the investment of time they spend learning.
Right.
And that's number one. And then developing strategies that work for them.
Yeah.
And like you're saying as well, it's basically about concentrated effort so that they can then see the reward of the time they put in and learn things long term rather than then learn and forget.
I think the more that I study about learning vocabulary, and for the past number of years, I've been trying to find the silver bullet, the one online app or the one program or the one set of words that will work with everybody. And the answer is that nothing I've tried works with the whole class.
Right.
You've got to find that kind of learner's style or something, you know, and offer as many different ways that you can find that are valid, and have the students choose which kind of vocabulary study kind of floats their boat. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.